he's exploring the other side of what human beings are capable of, and as a young person, as a young man, I scare easily, and I was tentative in my approach to that stuff. I'm in arrears on my my own King scholarship. I was talking to Mike about it yesterday. I've got to read more now. I haven't read all of it. Dark Tower is uncharted water for me. So,
oh my goodness!
I've got to get stuck into that.
I was going to give you some helpful advice there, but if you're talking to Mike, I mean, I'm not going to.
Actually, no. But come on, this is Kingcast. So you got. What are your tips if I'm coming to King as a sort of
newbie?
No, I'm not a complete newbie because I've read If It Bleeds, and I've read some other stuff on writing, but if I was to dig into like some of the big hitters, what would you recommend I was to go to first?
I'm a die-hard Dark Tower fan, but do not jump into that straight away. I think I think that it's very easy to be shaken off at the beginning of Dark Tower. I think if you make it to book 2, you are like either in for the ride or you're like, this isn't for me.
I think it's like swimming the English Channel. You don't want that to be your first time in the water.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. What's my first? If I'm jumping in the water, where am I jumping?
What I like to recommend to people are the early short story collections. I love Skeleton Crew and Night Shift because you're getting a little taste of all different kinds of King. And if you don't dig one of the stories, it's over in 15, 20, 30 pages, right? And you can move on to the next one.
Okay.
In terms of books,
write this down.
Misery and Pet Sematary, I think, are the tops.
I've heard so much about Pet Sematary. Yeah.
Those are all great recommendations from Eric. I'll just add one more. Yes. And since you were self-described as a scaredy cat, I don't know. The Dead Zone. I think it's from 79.
Okay.
It's about a very Chuck-like figure, a school teacher who develops this power to foresee things. And he lives an ordinary life, but suddenly he can see terrible things that are happening or have happened. And how a normal person, like if you ever felt looking at the news, a starving child or a bombing somewhere, some act of terrorism, and you feel like I can't do anything about this. Imagine if you could do something like the power.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
And this is about an ordinary man who tries to deal with that. And I think if your taste is to The Shawshank and Life of Chuck, The Dead Zone, it has a supernatural element to it, but it's much more in line with those kinds of stories.
Okay, that's all right. Those are really good recommendations.